WNYathletics.com would like to thank today's sponsors. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Ready to sell your home? Visit howardhanna.com today. Howard Hanna. Home happens here. Western New York Immediate Care, with 4 convenient locations in the Buffalo area: Amherst, Buffalo, Depew, Lancaster, and Orchard Park. Western New York Immediate Care is now offering telemedicine services to provide you care anytime, anywhere. Visit WNY Immediate Care on-site or virtually at WNYimmediatecare.com. Logistics Plus Buffalo is your go-to resource for all your transportation needs. LP moves freight of all shapes and sizes all across the world. Call LP Buffalo today at 716-877-9653 or email buffalo@logisticsplus.com. AdPro Sports. AdPro is the largest team sports dealers and brand merchandise providers in the nation. For a variety of custom merchandise solutions, from apparel to promotional items, visit adprosports.com. Empire Electric. For all your home, business, or office electrical needs, call Empire Electric at 716-634-0330. Free estimates and financing available for all customers. Empire Electric. Call 716-634-0330.
My guest we have right now in our first segment, we're going to have Dan Kaplan. He is the chairman for the boys bowling, right?
That's correct.
And we have Jake Willard, one of the 6 all-stars for the boys individual. So Dan, why don't you break it down? Because I think bowling's kind of interesting. You have both the team aspect and the individual aspect. Why don't you break down who exactly groups are going to represent Section 6 at States?
Yeah, that's what makes bowling a little unique. We send, there's an individual aspect to it. So this year we're sending, just like any other year, we're sending 3 boys teams, 3 girls teams. Our Division I large school is for teams 600 and above, and that's Frontier Boys. For the Division II below 600 is West Seneca East Boys. And then we send what's called the composite team, which is made up of the 6 of the top bowlers from Section 6 that are not on
either of the 2 teams that won. And we do the same exact thing for the girls. The large school is North Tonawanda, the small school is Maryvale, and then once again we have 6 girls representing Section 6. They actually are a team going against the other composite teams from the rest of the state.
So Dan, we have Jake Willard here. He's the only returning from last year's team. So Jake, what does it feel like to be, what is the term, Section 6 All-Star? Is that kind of what you try to go for?
Yeah, that's what they call them. I mean, at State Day they call them the composite team, but yeah, we call them the all-section team.
So Jake, how does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good to come back and have a whole new group of guys to bowl with. We have a good
chance. I feel like last year we bowled really well. Most of the 6 games. A few games we had our ups and downs, but this year we got a really good group of guys to bowl with. So I have a good feeling about this year.
Tell me, what, as the only returning, what do you remember from last year most? What memory sticks out to you from going last year?
My 300 and coming in first as an individual.
Okay, yeah, I can't argue with that one.
He did a good run at sectional at States last year. We're pretty proud of him.
Have you tried to impart any wisdom on, I guess, your new teammates as they're coming up about what the atmosphere is like at States, what to expect?
I'm telling them just to keep their heads level, keep an open mind, and just do whatever you feel comfortable and make the most out of it.
What do you think is the biggest difference of that versus sectionals or any other tournament locally?
You have everybody from all over the state coming. You have a lot more people watching than just sectionals, and it's a lot different. You just gotta stay even. Is it
just nerves seeing everybody? Is it, because I think Dan was telling me a couple of years ago, if they're still doing it at this place in Syracuse, it's kind of it's kind of a little built differently than some of the other bowling alleys around here. Or was that the one year where they had it at the convention center, I
The
think.
convention center,
Yeah.
that was the year that USBC was involved, and that was a once in a lifetime trip for the kids, so that was special, that doesn't count, as much as it was a great time. Very unique that year. The states for a composite are different because they're bowling 3-on-3 as opposed to what we do here. They're on a 5-man team. Now they're representing Section 6. They're bowling as a 6-man team, and they don't put 6 on a pair. They put our 3 against whoever we draw, and then our other 3 against whoever we draw. So let's say we draw Rochester. We'll bowl 6-on-6, but 3 on a pair, and then all 6 bowl, all 6 scores, and then the lowest score of the 6 just gets dropped from your total. So your total is the 5 highest scores each game. The score still counts toward your total for the day, but in terms of the team total, the low score is the one that doesn't count. So our goal with the kids is, listen, if someone's having a bad game, that's fine, as long as it's one of you and the other 5 do their job, and we'll be okay.
So, Jake, let's talk about you for a second. You're one of the top bowlers in Section 6. The average right now of 234.94, high game of 289. When you approach the lane, what is your key usually? What's your game plan usually for most matches?
Most matches, I just go in open-minded, trying to stay as positive as possible. Bad breaks will happen, good breaks will happen. You just gotta deal with whatever comes your way, and just throw your best shots you can.
How many bowling balls do you have? Or do you bring with you to an average match?
I bring 7 with me to a match.
And how many of them do you carry in yourself?
All 7.
Oh, wow, okay. I remember when I was doing a tournament a couple years ago, I kept seeing all these parents with all this luggage, and I'm like, isn't the kid supposed to be carrying that in? So I'm impressed you bring in all 7. So of those 7, how many do you, what's, I know like golf, you have the different clubs for the different shots. Is it a similar approach in bowling?
Yeah, every ball does something different. You'll have a ball that goes longer down the lane and hooks more towards the end, and then you'll have a ball that reads earlier down lane, mid lane, and it'll be continuous towards the pocket.
Okay. So, and you pretty much know based on how the patterns are when to use which ball, right?
Yeah, and then as the patterns break down, that's when you have to get into your different balls, and then you have to throw it differently than what you're normally used to sometimes.
Now,
I believe you got for sectionals, it's the same pattern as the one they're gonna use for states. You usually try to keep that the same.
yeah, when they, usually in mid-January, they announce what the pattern is for states, and we try to get it out there for the kids to practice on as much as possible. We enter it into some of our tournaments in January and February, and then we add it on to our sectionals. So we want the kids to get as many chances on that opportunity, and then obviously the kids that hit it the best are the ones we want representing us at states.
How many different patterns are there that they've used over the years?
Every year they try and change the pattern. I mean, I don't remember too many where we've had the same pattern, but they're all little variations of each other. They're all pretty much modified house shots, so they don't want it too hard where everyone just is crying and just beside themselves. So, but they don't want it too easy where everyone's just gonna whack it. So there's enough patterns they can go find a happy medium to keep everyone happy and just so they have a chance at it. The better bowlers will be able to adjust.
Jake, tell me about this pattern. What is it like, and what's kind of the game plan for it? You can't give too much away.
Well, last year it was way easier, I will say that. This year you have little to no mystery to the right side of the lane, so you have to really play your angles tight, and you just gotta, play it to what the lane gives you. You gotta be patient with this pattern. You can't force the ball down the lane. You gotta throw it slower than what you're normally used to, which is what I've been working on. And during the practices we've had the last week, I've noticed that the slower I throw, the better I have. So, slower is better.
What is it like these past couple weeks? You spend most of the season, you practice with your whole team, you go to school with them. I know half your team goes to West, half goes to East. What has it been like just the past few weeks to bowl with a bunch of all-stars, kind of a smaller setting, but you're with bowlers at closer to your level?
I bowl with them in leagues all around around Western New York throughout the years, so it's nothing new. And then bowling with them as just a team, I feel like we'll all bond together, get closer friendships between them. So,
If you know them so well, why don't you tell me a little bit about your teammates going with you? What are some of their strengths?
Talon, he has the ability to throw the ball slow, which is what the pattern is, what you want to do on the pattern. Nick Brady, he can play straighter, which will help out the one-handed guys who throw it slower as well. You have Lane, he is like me and Talon, he throws it a little harder than most of the guys. John, who's a freshman, which I'm really proud of him for making it. If anybody's gonna bowl really good, it's gonna be him. And he's just all around a good bowler. He can throw it hard and straighter, or he can throw it slower and get more left with it. And then Aiden, he's about the same as Nick, can play straighter up the lane and then get left if he absolutely has to.
Dan, you've been coaching these guys for the past few weeks. Would you agree with pretty much that's the scouting report for your guys?
This is a good group of boys. We're pretty excited. 5 seniors and John Corum, who's our freshman. We knew coming in this year that the depth and talent of the boys was better than it's been for a while. So we've been kind of excited all year knowing our boys, not only our all-stars, but the teams, just we had the talent to compete. And so we knew there were about a good 10 to 15 top-notch boys that could represent us, and we got 6 of them, and pretty excited knowing they're going down. This is one of the stronger boys teams we've had in the years I've been around. So the bar's pretty high for them. They have a chance to win the whole thing. They've got talent, they've got experience. These kids all know each other because they're all friends, which is rare. Not that we don't have kids that aren't friends. We get kids from all over Section 6. This year we got 6 boys that they all know each other. They bowl every Saturday morning together. They bowl in Pepsi leagues together. So we're excited for this group of boys to go down there.
You mentioned that they know each other, they bowl together. Where are some of the top, I guess, leagues that a lot of your bowlers bowl together at in the off season, or at least outside of school? There's
it's the Invitational League. It's a Saturday afternoon league at Broadway where they have to almost try out to be in it, and all the top bowlers from Section 6 are not all, but pretty much the majority of them are in it, and they bowl against each other every week, and they put out harder patterns for these kids to adjust to rather than just the house patterns that they mostly see. Like our league matches, we see house patterns. You don't want kids just struggling all season, but this is a very challenging league. Dave Gwyndon runs it and does a great job. You could just see that these kids are getting better all the time, and they're flourishing in this league. So it's a very competitive league too, and they're bowling for scholarship money too. So it's a very good league.
You're the coach of Cheektowaga. Now what's it like for you to adjust to, I know you've been doing this for a while, coaching the all-star team. You know they're already good bowlers, but you still want to give them that kind of guidance. How do you balance that?
These kids, they bowled enough that there's not a lot we can give them. We just hope that they can gel as a team, and on their teams, they're the star, and they're kind of expected to be the big dog every match. Their teammates all kind of expect that out of them. Here, they're one of 6, and we just kind of expect them, listen, do your job. You got teammates that are going to lift you up. Yes, there's going to be ups and downs, as long as the downs are very few, and you guys all, once again, if one person's off, we want them, hopefully, hey, spend the rest of the game finding your shots so you can come back and help us. Just as long as the other 5 are doing their job, it makes it easier for them. And like I said, this group is very coachable, very talented, and we're excited to see what they do next week.
Jake, obviously the best thing to do is hit a strike. But if you had to deal with a split on your spare, what's, I guess, for you, what's your easiest to knock down as far as, like, I only got a couple pins, I need the spare. This is the pins I need to knock down, this is what I want it to be.
Anything other than corner pins, I would
Okay.
say, are the easiest. 3 6s are easy, 6 pins are easy. 10 pins I've gotten a lot better at, so they're getting easy. I've had a little bit of problems with the left side spares, but I've been working on it, so I'm not too worried about anything.
Do you have any superstitions before a big match? Any special socks or anything, or you have to start with a certain ball or anything weird?
No, I just kind of do what I normally do and just go on and have fun bowl.
Is there any? Dan, are there any like big bowling superstitions? I know in football some guys are like, I have to wear these socks or weird stuff like that.
I don't think anything weird. The kids and adults do the same thing. Someone's going for a 300, it gets real quiet. Everyone around them stops bowling, which drives me nuts because it almost puts more pressure, more attention. But I mean, even when the kids are doing it in their leagues, they'll all stop and everyone just stops and stares, and you don't want to be the one that drops your ball when the kid's ready to go up and shoot for his final shot. So that's probably the biggest one I know of that I noticed, that I'll just stop. Everyone stops bowling. Everyone within any bit of range of the person that's got like the front 10 will just stop and not even talk. Like a no-hitter in baseball. You don't mention it, you just go out and watch.
Jake, is there anything you do if you're having a bad game that you try to do to just maybe switch things up, get yourself in the right headspace? Do you make a ball change? Do you do something different to try to just get yourself back on track?
If it really have to, I'll make a ball change, but I'll talk it over with my coach, about like, hey, do you notice anything I'm doing wrong? Do you notice anything with my ball down the lane that it's doing that I don't see? And then we'll talk about it, and then I will have a mental reset in between frames, and then try and just make the best shots I can. And if I do and it works out, then I pick it up, and then that's better.
Dan, when a bowler of that caliber you notice is off like that, how much of it is a physical correction you can make, or how much of it is just he's in his head or something weird is going on like that?
Probably a combination of both. I mean, we've had kids over the years where we've just pulled aside even at states and just settled them down. I mean, state's a big thing for these kids, and there's a lot of pressure, a lot of eyes, there's college coaches there, and these kids, they just got to realize it's still a bowling alley, there's still 10 pins, just go out and do what you're capable of doing. And like I said, it's nice, especially with the All-Stars, that they've got a little room for error with that dropping to the low score. So listen, you're going to be low, that's fine, just find it now. Use these last few shots to find your shot so we can take into the next game. So that's what their teammates are for. So.
Dan, you mentioned a little bit earlier, you knew coming up that you were going to have a good group of bowlers. How much are you guys aware of what's coming up through the quote-unquote farm system for Section 6 bowling?
I'm out there. I mean, the kids will attest. I go watch the invitationals on Sunday or Saturday, the tournament. I'm at the Pepsi on Sunday where they bowl, where a lot of the top bowlers bowl. I go to some of the youth tournaments around the area. So I'm up to date on what's coming up and just keeping an eye on kids. And I mean, there's enough tournaments during the year, high school tournaments, where you see all these other teams and all these other bowlers. So you get a good idea. And like I said, this year we knew, like for a while, the girls pretty much had a little lock on the depth and always did a little better at states because of the talent. And the boys have really switched roles the last few years,
Where the boys, like I said, it's not that the girls aren't talented, the boys just had more depth. Like we knew this year there was a chunk of boys that could make our state team, and we had a couple kids that were on it last year that didn't make it this year, and it's not because they didn't bowl any and they bowled worse. It's just that the talent level was there, and there wasn't a lot of room for error at sectionals this year for the boys because of the number of talented bowlers that were out there. So you see it coming, and we've got a lot of nice boys right now.
Jake, I'll ask this question to you first, and I'll ask Dan this question second. Let's say I'm a parent of a 7-8-year-old. You're going out once a week. They're doing pretty well for someone their age, and they think they're ready to take their games to the next level. What steps should they take to get to a point where they could be, just like you, an all-star in Section 6?
If they're 7 or 8, I would recommend them trying to get into maybe at least 1 or 2 more leagues. Go practice a few more times during the week. Work on what you want to work on, and then have fun with it. And then when you get to the age 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, see if your high school has a bowling team, and then get on it. And then you'll be practicing 6 days a week at least if you're bowling, and 2 leagues a weekend, and then 4 days during the week. So if you do that, then you'll definitely improve. I've noticed a lot of improvements from it. So
Dan, I know we talked about this in other sports, is there a concern of overuse injuries in bowling? Do you just try to get as out as much as you can?
The younger kids, you just want them to have fun with it. Like, enjoy it first before it really starts becoming your hobby. But once you start getting into your teenage years, yeah, if you're serious about it, you gotta pick it up a little more. It's not something you can do. Like, I have kids that I know when the season ends in February, they don't pick up a bowling ball until November, till we start again, which is fine. They play other sports, that's fine. I'm guessing this one pretty much bowls year round. He travels for tournaments, so even when the bowling season ends for us next week, he's still going to be doing plenty of bowling because that's something he wants to do. He's going to college to bowl for it. So yeah, there's a difference. At some point, bowling, you got to get a little more sport specific. When you're younger, find what you like. I mean, I don't like to see the younger kids just find one sport and do it at age 10. Find what you like and do it.
How many times a week do you bowl, Jake?
6 or 7.
6 or 7. Wow. You mentioned, Jake, you are going to college to bowl. Tell me where you're going and what went into your decision.
I'm going to Muskingum University in New Concord, Ohio. The team there is really close, and the team, I went because I wanted more of a type where I will start and knowing I will start, and not just go to like a bigger school where I'll just be a position bowler where when they need me, they'll put me in, and when I'm not needed, I'll just sit on the bench the whole time. So I wanted to go where I would start and have a really good chance of making the team better and making the team better as a whole between individual guys as well. So
What level are they?
they're really good. They're averaging their lowest
Are
average.
they no, I mean, like what division? Like D1, D2,
They're D3.
D3? How'd you find them?
I went to a national tournament last July, and they were scouting there, and I went up to the coaches, got their card, and then that's how I met the coaches.
Did you I think Madai has a bowling team. How many of our kids bowl at the next level? How many do you think are capable of bowling at the next level?
Just to add on to him, Talon Newton, one of our other bowlers from Grand Island, is also going with him to Muskingum. So we got 2 kids.
So
that are
there's a
going.
connection there.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's recruiting Western New York hard.
Yeah, they found out that we have some talented bowlers here. Back to your original question, it's getting better every year. Like the girls programs of Madai and Damon and Villa have really now they've come into the area, and now the girls have a lot of opportunities. The boys in this area right now, it's just ECC, and right now, actually, as we're speaking, they're competing for the national title over at Airport. They've been getting a lot of our top bowlers that don't want to go away are going to ECC. But in terms of the boys, yeah, there's not a lot around here. Girls have plenty to choose from. So if you go see Madai Bowl, you're going to see about 6 or 7 girls that are Section 6 girls, which is nice. And I just like I go watch the high school kids, I'll go watch the college kids when they have tournaments around here. And it's nice to see those kids going on to the next level.
What's the biggest difference from bowling at high school level versus the college level?
Well, for the high school level, these kids are all pretty much the top bowler on the team, once again expected to lead the team. At the college level, that's not guaranteed. I mean, I've seen some of our top kids from last year. Right now, they're still learning the ropes and learning that's a little bit harder than they thought it would be, and they're biding their time. And you know what? And when you get in, you just make a showing and hope the coach likes you, keeps you in there. But yeah, it's a little different. They're used to being the man or the woman on the team, and now it's not guaranteed at that next level.
What exactly is harder? Is it different patterns? Is it just more you're drawn bigger bowlers and it's a little more pressure?
Combination. Definitely, it's hard. Like during the season here, we're bowling on house shots. They're bowling on much more harder sport shots, and some of the coaches will change the way they bowl and just to adjust to what they're going to be shooting at, and it takes a little while to make that change, and a lot more pressure at the college level, that's for sure. So it's I enjoy watching it, but yeah, it's some of these kids are getting a little reality check from going to being the big dog to waiting their turn.
Now, Jake, we'll finish on this. Last year, you said you threw a 300 at states. Were you the state winner overall?
Yeah, I think so. I was first individually.
He doesn't even
So-
remember.
He was. He's being modest. He had a great run at states last year, and the boys, I want to say, finished second last year at
I
states.
think it was third.
Third, okay. Boys finished third overall at states, but he had a great run. He's being modest. He's been our top bowler average wise the last 2 years, so he's really we're glad he's on the state team. He was like, not that we had people targeted, but we knew he was the top bowler, and you want your top bowlers going to the states to represent us.
How do you feel about Section 6 chances to win the overall crown?
Feeling pretty good about this group. This is just a good group. They've all got pretty good head on their shoulders. They get along. And our worry is always how will they bond. And right now, that's the easy thing with these guys. These guys all get along. So we're excited for this group as a whole. But this All-Star boys, I'm not going to say what I expect, but we expect them to do very well.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Jake. That's Dan Kaplan and Jake Willard, Section 6 Boys All-Star Team. They are going to be representing Western New York in Section 6 at States next weekend in Syracuse. Coming up next, we are going to welcome in the Division I girls champs. That's the North Tonawanda Lumberjacks. We have a couple bowlers and coach here from there. We're going to talk to them, and we're going to talk to the rest of the champions in bowling set to represent Section 6 at States next weekend. This is High School Sports Saturday on WNY Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Bring him in. We have Coach Hannah Prochlehurst. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
And Bridget Kate, a junior from the North Tonawanda Lumberjacks. So let's just start with this. How does it feel? Let's start with this. You guys are section champion. I think it was the first one as a team in a long time. How did that feel?
Incredible. It was my goal since the beginning of the season to make it to state either as a team or individually, but making it as a team is so much better.
Bridget, how long have you been bowling?
For almost 12 years now.
And when did you know, like, ooh, I'm actually pretty good at this, I can do this at a high level?
I would say around 5th or 6th grade. I was told by some of my Saturday League coaches to try out for the team, and once I made the team, I knew that I was going to go far.
Coach, she's being modest. Tell me, how good is she?
She's amazing. She's a great idol and an awesome bowler. I mean, when she tried out in 7th grade, I was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see how she grows, and she's done more than I could have ever imagined her doing. So she's a strong bowler. She's averaging a 205 as a junior right now. It's awesome. It's great.
Tell me about some of your other bowlers that'll be going with you to Syracuse.
We have an awesome set of girls on our team. We have Emma Snowman. She's averaging around 170. We have Tessa Monoraki. She's a senior this year. She's a 175 average. And then Bridget Sister's on the team as well. So she's around 165-ish, 170 as well. So they definitely deserve this, and we've been hoping and working hard for this whole season. So past few seasons we've been really waiting for it. So
tell me about this. What is it like to, you coach, I know a lot of the NFLs, you coach both the boys and the girls. Is that the case in North Tonawanda?
yes.
What is that like? You don't see that in very many other sports.
It's interesting. I mean, we're still two separate teams, so the boys and the girls kind of work together as much as they can, but it's definitely different than most sports. But I don't know how Bridget feels about that because her brother's on the team as well. So
Is there a rivalry there?
sometimes. No, I think it's fun though. It's nice. Your whole family's there. So yeah. But yeah, we like to have a little competing between the boys and the girls sometimes just to make some fun out of it. But I like having both teams.
So you enter sectionals, you probably know you're one of the top teams. So what was your message to your team before then is, what does this team need to do to win a sectional title?
Come in strong, have confidence. I mean, we all, just score-wise, our goal was to bowl a couple 900s, and we knew that was a good goal to meet. And I think we had two out of three, and that was a strong start. But mainly have fun and stay positive and stay small line. But the bowling, and that's all they had to do, and it was a great day.
Yeah, pin count is very important.
So why is that? I mean, is that just because it's too much pressure to just keep getting strikes? Is that kind of your game, your philosophy?
Well, the pattern was a little tricky, but if we miss our spares, I mean, we're not going to have a high scoring game. If we had no strikes in one game, we had all the spares, we would still have decent games. So just even if we couldn't hit our marks, making those spares would really keep our games accurate there. So yeah.
Dan Kaplan from Cheektowaga, he's obviously the chair. He was telling me about the patterns, how they always change them. When you saw the pattern first, what did you think of it? Was it a pattern? Let's talk this, Bridget. Did you, is it a pattern you were familiar with? Did you like it? Did you not care for it?
I would say that I haven't seen it before. I've practiced on that pattern like 3-4 times before sectionals, and every time was completely different. So it was kind of hard knowing what I was going to go into during sectionals. But overall, I pretty much liked the pattern until it was burned down on the second half.
So what's your game plan when the pattern breaks down like that, especially in a big tournament like sectionals? How do you adjust?
I have a lot of bowling balls, so I usually go down one. So I'll go down one. If that doesn't work, I'll move my feet. But trying to keep an open mind, know what I can do.
I asked this question to Jake. How many bowling balls do you have?
As of right now, 6, hoping to get 2 more.
Oh, get 2 more. Now, here's the real question. How many of them do you carry in yourself? 6.
Yeah.
Okay, you bring in all of them because I've seen, mom and dad bring in the whole thing of bowling balls before.
Yeah.
But you take them in yourself.
I will give your mom some credit though. She doesn't bring them on the bus. So her mom will start them and then they pass off. I'll give your mom some credit there.
Yes, this. Coach, we talked a little bit beforehand about your background. You coached at North Tonawanda. What was it like what's it like to coach at your alma mater?
Very, very rewarding. I love it so much, and when I was on the team, we had a strong group of girls as well. So coming back and being with a group that is just so into the sport, it's just a really good feeling. And I'm kind of living through their season, so but it's just full circle, and I'm just so proud to be there.
What do you remember most about your days?
Lots of cheering. It's not the same now, but it was very loud. But as an individual, I went to states 3 times, so that's why knowing that they're going, I can't wait for them to experience it. It's a great time, one chance in a lifetime, and yeah, it's different, but so excited for them to experience it too.
What kind of wisdom have you tried to impart on them about just that experience and that atmosphere?
Going to states?
Yeah, going to states.
At this point, we did everything that we possibly could in the season. We were 12-0, long undefeated season, which was awesome, and then coming in first at sectionals, that's all I could ever wish for them to do. So going into states, I want you guys to take it all in and have a good time. We made it to the best. I just want you to have the best time. It's just to take it all in. So.
When, in terms of the atmosphere, do you think it's a tougher atmosphere than sectionals, or is it you just kind of you got to treat it like any other tournament?
It's different because you're in an unfamiliar place, but it's intimidating. It just feels very professional. So when you go to college for bowling, this will be exactly what it's like. So,
Bridget, does Coach ever bowl herself when you watch her? Do you think oh, I could do better? What's that like when you see her take the lane?
In practice, we do have competitions between me and her, and
fun competitions.
Yeah, fun competitions, and because we have the same bowling ball, so we usually use that. But I kind of always beat her.
Ooh.
I have to let her beat me. But no, from where I left as I graduated, she's already passing my average, so I'm happy to see. It's awesome.
Bridget, what did you, what has it been like? What has Coach told you about states, and what is it like for you to have someone as a coach who is close in your age, who has been there before on your team? What do you think you've learned from her that maybe you wouldn't have learned from other coaches?
Just I've learned about the experience a little bit more. It's great that we're closer in age because we get along. But thanks. Yeah. We're best friends. But yeah, the experience, learning about the experience and what to expect when I get in there is really nice. Knowing that she has been there and it hasn't been a long time since she's been there is nice knowing what to expect.
What's your goal, Lend, on this? Do you think, I don't know how much you scouted or seen anything, do you think that the Lumberjacks have a real shot at winning a state title?
I would love that. We did a little scouting, and there's a lot of teams that I think that we can place higher than.
Yeah.
But I know that there's some high averaging teams out there. I'm not officially sure who's going and fully what their averages are, but I think with what I've seen in the past few years with our team, that's what I'm looking for sometimes. So I think we definitely have a great chance. Yeah.
I'll ask this question to both of you. All right, you're watching right now, either you're a parent or you're a 5th or 6th grader in North Tonawanda, boy or girl, and you're I'm kind of to go out, every once in a while. I'm doing pretty well, and I think I might want to try taking the next step. What do you want them to do in order to get to the level where Bridget's at right now?
Just bowl. I want you to go to the lanes and bowl. Go out with friends. Just practice and have fun. It's really just practicing often.
Yeah,
What's your advice?
practice. Try different lines, like keep an open mind. That's one of my biggest things, because I've known where like I was struggling a lot at a certain lane and I was told to play a completely different line than I was comfortable with, but it was working and I learned to be comfortable with that line. But I would say, yeah, practice.
Can you explain a little bit what you mean by line for those of us who never bowl or don't really bowl often?
It's like, I don't know, how do I explain it? Like where you put the ball in the lane and like how far your feet are. Usually I like to play like a very inside line, and I've learned to kind of stand further left on the approach and throw out further.
Basically, a line is, trying to compare it to a different sport, but I can't think of anything. But where you're standing on the lane and where you're throwing the ball out on the lane. So based off of different oil patterns or how your ball's reacting, you adjust your feet and your eyes on the lane to hopefully get a strike.
Yeah.
So
Kind of like creating an angle.
yeah.
Bridget, do either you yourself or your team have any special pregame rituals or weird superstitions? Do you have like special socks you have to wear or anything you do when you walk up?
I would say, we do, our chant is probably one of the best, like in the NFL.
Can you do it right now? I know it's a lot tougher without the rest of your teammates.
But I would say we do like to wear bows a lot. Bows is one of our biggest things. And, I would say we don't really have a lot of like rituals. I know I always tell them, do not be the first person to throw a ball in the tournament. I think that is bad luck. So I never have them throw the first ball in the tournament. I always wait for someone else to bowl first.
You always wait for the other team to go?
Yeah. Because
Do they know? So they don't, but they don't know yet though.
No.
Well, now they do, of course. But that's okay.
But I always think of it as bad luck. And one of my teammates makes cookies every single match and tournament. So we always have those like after second game.
I wish I had teammates like that.
Yeah, one of the girls, Sophia, her and her mom makes cookies every match, and they're a little power up, I would say.
Yeah.
So it works.
Man, that's a big recruitment tool.
Yeah.
You get a cookie every match.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that's gonna about it. Anything else you'd like to share, like about your team or just about bowling in general, about how you feel about going to states?
I just cannot express how proud I am. The team's so dedicated, and I'm so dedicated to doing anything for them. Looking forward to next year as well. We have a really young group of girls. She's a junior. We have 2 9th graders, 3 9th graders, a 10th grader, and a couple middle schoolers too. So hopefully this will be a long-lasting.
We only have one senior this year, so it's not like we're losing a whole lot of our team.
Yeah.
Like some other teams are.
We're losing a big important.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm super thrilled, and I can't wait for states. So.
All right, Coach Bridget, thank you for coming in. All right, everybody, you're coming up next, we're going to have the West Seneca boys team. They won the Division II boys side. They're going to also be going to states for Section 6. This is High School Sports Saturday on WNY Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. the most important call you can make after an auto accident.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. Ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf, that's all you had to say. Call today.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Welcome back to high school sports Saturday. Get back to our two screen.
Here we go. Francis Beck here, Tom Prince, Frank Wolf.
I am now joined by the West Seneca East
Division II Section 6 champions. I have Coach Kevin Lucy, Michael Barone, and Jagan Braxenberg. Did I get those all right? All right. So guys, your Division II champions in Section 6. Let's start with this. How does it? What did it feel like to win a sectional title?
Well, I was amazed. Performance the guys put out on the lanes that day. The conditions changed, of course, between the morning and the afternoon session. They really had to buckle down and make some good shots to secure the win. We had a couple teams chasing us throughout the day, and we were just good enough to hold them off.
How much are you guys aware? Or actually, let's finish that. Each of you guys go. How does it feel to be a sectional champion?
Really good. Really good. Ever since I started on the team, it's been my number one goal. My senior year.
Move a little bit closer.
Move a little bit closer to the mic next time.
Jacob.
It's definitely a surreal experience. We were leading most of it. We were honestly losing at one point. We brought it back, and we definitely locked in at the end.
You know, bowling's a different sport than most others, where how you do is your opponent doesn't directly affect how you do out there. You're on your own. But again, you guys were still aware of how the other teams were doing. I mean, how much did you try to not let it get into your head? Do you do the math in your head? How much of that plays in when you go up to bowl?
Well, the numbers are definitely working. You're watching. Your scoreboard watching, like they say. But you try not to get too far involved because you don't want to get down. Like I said, each shot matters, pins matter in these contests. That's why it's important to get what you can get. And I think our final total for the section tournament was 5,964 pins. That's almost 6,000 pins. That's a lot of pins. And we still could have lost with that. They did pull it out at the end. We got a great group of kids. Michael's a senior. Jacob's one of the team captains. They're both the high average bowlers on the team. Right on the 1 and 2 slots. Josh Zajak's another great bowler. He's a freshman this year. He had 300 this year. We've got a couple of newcomers that have really contributed this year too. That'll be going to states with us. That played in the section.
Michael, let me ask this. Again, when you're in that sectional tournament, you know it's close. How much are the numbers in your head? Do you block it out yourself? Do you think it throws you off your game, or do you like just knowing what you have to do?
In between shots, I'll look at the scores, but once I get up on the approach, completely forget about it, so it doesn't throw me off.
That's a special skill that not many people have in general life, just to block out things. Jacob, was that kind of your approach?
We're back. Definitely not throwing a shot. I'm not throwing a shot to strike. In my head, I'm like, all right, gotta step it up a little bit or something. Same thing when I'm up there. I'm focused on me.
Coach, we talked a little bit about him. Let's talk about these two guys here. What exactly, you said they're top bowlers, but what makes their game so special?
Well, Michael's our top lefty on the team. We have 2 lefties on the team. I have one of my new athletes, Jacob Ballawet. He's a lefty. Michael's the key lefty on the team. So most lefties usually get that left-hand side of the lane, and they usually can do what they want with it because by percentages, righties are more than lefties on the lane. So the conditions don't break down as much or as fast. There's less carry down, so they can usually do more with the ball and make easier corrections than somebody on the right-hand side of the lane. Like I said, Michael's a senior. Michael's been bowling since he was like 3 years old, so he's got a lot to his game. He understands the game well. He brings a lot to the table too, with his knowledge. You don't have to overcoach him. You can just guide him along and kind of steer him, and he kind of knows where to go. 9 times out of 10, after he makes a shot and he didn't make the shot he wanted, he knows right away. He knows what adjustment he's got to make. Usually we'll make eye contact and he'll just give me the nod that he knows what he's got to do to fix what he did wrong or to continue what he did better. Jacob, another one. Jacob comes from a line and family of bowlers. His mother's in the coaching ranks in the college. His family bowls. He's another one that's been bowling since he was probably 3 or 4 years old. He's got a lot to his game, knowledgeable, knows what's going on, knows patterns, knows balls, knows how the oil breaks down, knows when to move, and to make his adjustments. Because like I said, sometimes things don't come easy in this game. It's not always just an up and in, and you just can't force the ball all the time. Sometimes it's ball speed, sometimes it's control, sometimes it's release, sometimes it's loft. This game has come a long way over the past, say, 18 to 20 years, and it's more about equipment. Back in the day, you used to pick up a rubber bowling ball and you should just go to town. Now, man, these guys are carrying anywhere between 9 and 12 bowling balls in their arsenal. So they carry a lot of equipment around.
Coach, that was my next question to these guys. How many bowling balls do you have, and more importantly, how many do you carry in yourself? Michael?
I have 6 of them, and I bring all 6 of myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have like 8 or 9. I bring about 6 or 7.
And you carry them in? You don't have mom or dad bring them in?
I carry 2 3-ball bags, and then I have like one extra. I usually just give it to my dad or something. But yeah, I try to take most of them.
You know what I've noticed today is a lot of the top bowlers will actually carry in their own balls. I remember when I went to the sectional tournament a couple years ago, there was a bunch of parents bringing in bowling balls. I'm like, geez, that's a lot of bowling balls to bring in. But it looks like the top bowlers, they bring in their own. They're responsible for their own.
Most of them are responsible enough to bring in all their own equipment and take care of their stuff.
So it's a little bit like, I imagine it's a little bit like golf, the different bowling balls. You do use different ones at different times, right? Can you walk me through a little bit, Michael, of like your usual game plan of how many you use during a game and all that, and when you use them?
If the lanes are hooking a little bit in the back end, usually I'll just move a little bit right and keep my speed around the same, around 17 and a half. But if they're going a little bit longer. Left, or I'll go to something stronger. I've gone to stuff weaker before when the lanes are hooking a lot. I don't like to do that much. That's not a personal preference of mine. But if I have to, I can.
Jacob, let me ask this question. They change the patterns every year for sectionals, and they match them. Basically, the state one comes out, and I know the section matches it. When you first saw the pattern, what did you think of it?
It's definitely different, but when you look at it, it's not that much different than a house shot. It's just the amount of oil that's on the lane is a little different, or it breaks down a little differently.
Getting you, I guess, in layman terms, without getting a little too heady for someone who is bowling illiterate like me, explain to it what it was like.
The outsides versus your normal house shot, they were definitely more oily. So if you missed, you paid the price. And once they broke down, it was almost the opposite. If you missed in, it would just overhook, and you would pay the price again. And you really need to be consistent compared to like your average house shot. Is definitely where you got to focus.
Coach, when you saw what it was going to be the format at the paint, what did you think of it for your team? Did you think, oh, this is pretty good for our guys, or not really change anything for you?
It doesn't change a whole lot. It does make you practice a little differently because you want to be proficient with that shot when it comes out. So you want to try to get that shot out there on the lanes when you're practicing. These guys can pretty much bowl on anything. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they're not in the PBA tour right now or anything like that where they're bowling on, Jaguar or some of these fancy things they really got out there. But it does make their shot difficult, and it does make them think about what they have to do, and it does make them make adjustments. So it is something practicing on. When you see it, you do try to work at it. Just like being in another sport where you see, say maybe this is your defense you're playing against in a football game, where here this is what you're bowling against. So that is kind of your defense because you got to figure out your offense, which is your ball, and how to get it through there and how to create your pins, your action, and put the most points up on the board.
Coach, have you ever been to states before?
I have never. This is only my second year with the team.
Have you, I don't know if you've ever gone not as a coach just to watch, or if you talked to anybody, what wisdom have you tried to impart on your team about even just the atmosphere of states?
We've done some talking about that since last week, evidently, winning the section and now knowing we're going to states. I just want them to stay, it's cliche, but I want them to stay just humble, understand what they're going for, not to get, too big-headed. You're bowling against other teams from the state now, and who knows what they bring to the table. And, you just have to stay focused on the goal at hand. They worked hard all year to get to where they wanted to get. They wanted to go to states. They're here now. So they've got one more, match to win and to be state champions.
Jacob, Coach said you come from a long family of bowlers. Your mom's where does your mom coach?
She coaches for Damon.
Coaches for Damon. So does that do they come to your? I mean, are they always in your ear, or do you think they give you enough space to make your own decisions?
They definitely want to help. It's good and bad sometimes, because I definitely know, I'm past the age, I know what to do. But yeah, they definitely give their input, good or bad. But yeah, they definitely help.
Do they? You think they try to hold back from overcoaching, or do you think they try to make sure they stay back so you can not get in touch on your toes or touch on coach's toes?
I think they try and maybe don't stay as back as much as they should, but it's okay. We can get over it.
Would Coach agree, or Coach is going to stay
mum
on that?
The great knowledge is always a help for any kind of sport. In the sport of bowling, just to be factual, it's a little different. The parents are a lot closer to the kids during matches. There's more communication with them. It's not like you're at, say, a baseball game for high school, and the parents are up in the stands, and it's a little harder to communicate with the kids. So I do know that the parents do try to coach the kids, all of them. I mean, it's not just necessarily Jacob. Michael's dad is a bowler for years. His family bowls. He's got brothers that bowl. And some of the other kids, too, have, bowlers within their families that have some kind of knowledge and some, kind of input that they want to give. Always right and wrong? Well, not necessarily. But, the kids listen, and then ultimately, I usually try to guide them in the right direction with all the information that they've gathered after a shot.
Is it, I guess, that they're easier to deal with than, I know you said you referee football games. I'm assuming the parents are easier to deal with on the bowling alley?
Well, sometimes, yeah. Yeah, I've never had a problem with a parent on a bowling alley, so we'll call that a good thing.
How long have you guys each been bowling? I think you said Michael been bowling since he was 3?
Right around there, right, Michael?
Yeah, right around there.
You could hold a bowling ball at 3 years old?
I did my best.
Push it down the lane.
Push it down the lane. Bumper bowling. That's how they start.
So how often, since you started at 3, how often have you bowled throughout your life?
No, well, I bowled when I was that little, but I didn't bowl consistently. I didn't start bowling consistently until I was like 13 years old. But once I got to that age, I knew that I could be good at it. So I stuck with it and tried to do it as much as I could to get to the point where I'm at today.
When you said 13 is when you kind of realized you kind of hit a level, like you can make it to this kind of area, this level. What was that kind of that turning point for you? Was it like I have a bunch of good games in a row? Was it I did well at this tournament? What was that kind of point, that turning point for you?
Well, it was just kind of like how much I improved from when I first started to then. I knew I could do a lot better than what I was. It's just kind of like a mental thing with me.
How often, how many times a week do you think you bowl?
Well, now since we haven't practiced as much, 2 or 3 times a week.
Throughout the year, how much are you there? 5 times a week, 3 times a week at the bowling alley?
Yeah, 5 or 6 times a week.
Jacob, how long have you bowled? Obviously, it's in your family. We mentioned.
I've been definitely bowling around 3 or 4, same thing. But yeah, since we got to like 13, 14, definitely bowled more during the week, took it more seriously, and started going maybe 5 times a week almost.
Do you have any family rivalries? Either of you, like when you bowl against your families, I want to beat whoever, I want to beat mom, want to beat dad.
Yeah, when I bowl with my mom, we go to practice sometimes. It's definitely nice to want to beat her.
Do you beat her often, or she still have your number?
She gets lucky sometimes, but yeah, it's definitely a lot closer.
Michael?
Yeah, it's me and my dad most of the time. He doesn't bowl as much, but I know he's always in the back of my head because he's the one that has helped me the most in bowling since I was little. And so he's always had, every time I bowl and he bowls, he always just has just a little bit higher than me. So it's always just, he kind of is the one that pushes me to do better. In the back of my head, I always know I want to beat Dad. I'm going to beat Dad eventually.
Michael, I see you're a senior. Any plans for bowling at the next level or what you're doing next fall?
Just bowling in leagues and stuff like that. I'm not a big school person, so I'm not going to college. I'm going to a trade school, but not a college.
That's great. You know what? That's great to hear. You have a plan for the next level. I love hearing that. Jacob, because someone who you kind of been around the college game with your mom coaching, what is the biggest difference between high school bowling and college bowling?
It's definitely more serious. They're quiet when they're shooting, and then they get really loud. There's a lot of cameras everywhere. They record everything, all the tournaments, all the big tournaments. And it just seems like they're a lot more, not into it, but like they know like that's what they're there to do. They chose to go there for bowling. They definitely want to win.
When you say, would that freak you out if like all of a sudden at like states you notice like there are all these cameras around like you see on TV, like shooting at you? Would that freak you out or?
Not really. It's kind of cool and you can watch it after, but it's definitely different versus not being on the camera basically at all. So.
Do you guys have any superstitions or any as a team? Do you have any special pre-match rituals you guys do?
No, they don't. We have a little cheer sometimes.
Okay.
Before our matches, we'll probably stick with that in states. Other than that, all through the year, I don't think anybody's been really superstitious. So Hope that holds true next week.
Nobody has like any, like they have to wear a certain pair of socks or do something, wear something inside out. I don't think you see that a lot in bowling. I'm kind of surprised.
I don't think so either.
So let's just finish with this. You guys are going to states. If you could give me, boil it down to one thing, what do you guys need to do the best you can, possibly win a state title?
Well, speaking as a coach, they just need to try to stay clean, make their adjustments as proper, and we need pins. Pins is what's going to win the match. Like we say, even in our high school matches and in our practices, strikes look pretty, but spares win matches. You got to have the pin counts. So you got to try to stay clean and try not to make the mistakes and keep them to a minimum, and then hopefully that carries them through the 6 games that they're going to have to bowl.
What do you mean by clean?
No opens. So, you leave a ring and 10 pin on a great shot, and then you drop it in the drink in the gutter, and you miss it. If you miss that pin, you got to go back and get it, because the pins all matter. So, and that's what happened to us in sectionals, where we had to have them a couple extra pins and to get out that win, and that's what we did. We put ourselves in a situation where we had opens that we shouldn't have had, and we could have been cleaner through there, and hopefully, they forge forward at states, and they make less mistakes.
Michael, key to victory at states.
Work together as a team. Don't give up. We're all a team. We're all going to help each other. That's what we've been doing all year with each other.
And finally, Jacob?
Yeah, we definitely need to stick together, cheer when somebody does a good shot, and then maybe they lead like a split or something. Just say, don't worry about it. Get as many pins as possible. Definitely have a strong mental game going into it. I think that's what we really need.
Yeah, it's definitely a one-frame atmosphere. If you make a mistake, you have to forget about it, and you have to bowl the next frame. So it's something you can't dwell on.
All right, well, guys, thank you for coming in. Coach Kevin Stablewski. Hopefully I got that right. Stablewski, yep. Michael Barone, Jacob Raxenberger from West Seneca East Boys Bowling. They won the Division II title, and will be bowling at states next weekend. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Of course. All right. You're watching. When we come back, we're going to have the NC. We're going to have the Maryville Girls Bowlers coming in. We're going to be talking to them as we continue our bowling preview on High School Sports Saturday.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
You're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. Ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Welcome back to High School Sports Saturday. We're sparing no details as we get ready for Bowling States. We're talking to all of the teams representing Section 6 at the Bowling Championships. I'm joined now by a couple of members of the Maryvale girls bowling team. We have Rachel Marks in the middle on that, so your second screen there, and then Emma Jones, who also finishes the top individual bowler at the Section 6 girls tournament. So let me start with this. How does it feel? How did it feel to be a Section 6 champion?
It felt really good. It felt really nice doing it with my team.
Emma?
Yeah, I felt good. I'm glad to go with the team this year. Yeah.
And Emma, you were also the top individual bowler. So let me ask this question: What were you more proud of, winning it with your team or being the top bowler overall?
Honestly, winning it with the team. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into your histories a little bit. Rachel, you had an interesting story. You've only been bowling, you're a senior, you've only been bowling for 6 years. Tell me how you got into bowling and now you're on one of the top teams in all of Western New York.
Back in 7th grade, me and a whole bunch of my friends from the swim team decided we were going to try out for the team together. And I was the only one that actually went through with it, and 6 years later I'm still bowling.
And you're what? And you're one of the top bowlers. Did you ever think you'd be one of the, top bowlers in all of Section 6?
No.
What do you think, when did you realize, this is you did it as a joke at first, and then you realized, I'm actually pretty good at this, and then, wow, I'm actually one of the better ones. Walk me through that journey when you realized you hit each level.
So back in 7th grade, it was just kind of fun, and then I got my first bowling ball, and then beginning of 8th grade, I joined my first league, and that's when things started to get a lot more consistent, not just all over the map. And then 9th grade is when Emma and I kind of joined forces, and we kind of just work off of each other pretty well. So it's kind of just been nice having someone there with me.
How do you guys work off of each other?
We just always bring each other up, always encouraging. We've been together for these 6 years, so we've gotten pretty close.
Emma, I'm assuming you've been bowling for a little bit longer than that. When did you first pick up a bowling ball?
I think I was 9, so I've been bowling for 8 years. My dad put me in a league at Airport and been bowling ever since. So.
And when did you have that aha moment? Oh, I'm actually pretty good at this.
I was bowling in a summer practice league. I had coaches helping me out and stuff, and that's kind of when I started to get noticed and started getting better. Yeah.
All right, so the Coach Kaplan was telling me the house paint came out. They come out with states. They do new paint every year, and the sectionals copy it. When you guys first saw what the format would be, what did you think of it?
I thought that it was like a good choice. I thought it was something I could really play well with. Felt like it was something I could learn and pick up pretty fast.
Emma?
I mean, I liked it. I bowl well with that, so.
Were you kind of familiar with it? You kind of like, oh, I've seen this. I've bowled on this before.
I've bowled on similar things before, not exactly, but I was kind of knew what to do with it a little, so, yeah.
Start with this. You're on the Maryvale team. Those Cheektowaga, Maryvale schools do pretty well. Coach Kaplan is here, and I'm sure he loves the rivalry. Why do you guys think, what makes this because this Maryvale team is usually, they haven't won in a while, but they're usually in that top 2, top 3 at sectionals. What makes this program so successful?
I feel like it's a lot of, like, the girls on the team. Having, like, a teammate with a bad attitude just brings the entire team down, and I feel like this year we had a lot of good attitudes no matter what, and we when we lost one match, like, all the girls, like, it wasn't like a sad day. It was everyone like, oh, you did your best, and they're very encouraging. We all just try to encourage each other to do better and be our best.
Emma?
It's just kind of a lot of the girls that come through. There's always a lot of good girls that come through. It definitely helps to have nice people on the team, people that care about bowling but care about each other too. So, yeah.
Do you feel like because, use a term from another sport, do you guys feel like you have a good farm system, like with airport lanes right there? Like your young bowlers are always bowling, and when they come in, they're set to go for high school? Or do you feel like you can just like take like Rachel, anybody off the street, and turn them into a top 10 bowler?
I feel like our girls, like, some of the girls currently on our team, like, they had, like, a little bit of prior bowling experience, but nothing more than, like, bowling with their family, because, like, they do it rather regularly. But I feel like when they, like, take things a little bit more seriously, like a couple of our girls did last year, we had a whole bunch of 8th graders, and they, like, really started to, like, understand it a lot more. It's kind of, they're all getting, like, up there, which is really good. So going from bowling recreationally with your family to bowling on a team really made a big difference.
So what you're saying is Coach is really good at their job.
Yeah.
I was talking to the West Seneca East boys. We just had them in. They were very aware of how close they were in the standings going into those final games, and they were scoreboard watching, and they went up and down in the standings. How aware were you of what the other top teams were doing, especially in that final game, or at least in that afternoon? And how much did that play into your guys' head when you were going and throwing the ball?
Our coach kept it a secret from the girls that we were in first or second for the first half. I was the only one that knew because I just like picking.
Either you have your phones on. I know you could look it up on your phones.
I don't know where to find that completely, honestly. But I knew. Miss Phelps told me to. So.
She told us, but she didn't want us to tell the girls because of pressure. And then going into the second half, all of the girls kind of knew. And I feel like that's, like, cheering is really one of our big things. It's what we use to, like, bring each other up. And I feel like that, like, between, like, us kind of knowing and wanting to, like, keep this, like, bring it back to the school and be like, hey, we did this. And between cheering for everyone, it was, like, a really, like, nice experience.
And when finally they announced it, it was official, how did you feel?
I know I felt really good. It was really nice. I feel like it's a really, like, I like the thought of, like, going out on, like, a high note for Emma and I, like, our senior year. I also feel like it's a great thing going into next year for our younger girls to, like, have the confidence.
Now, Emma, you've been to states before as an individual bowler.
Mm-hmm.
What wisdom about that atmosphere and playing in that tournament have you tried to impart upon your teammates in these past couple weeks?
I guess that it can get really loud, and you can feel, like, the competitive atmosphere, but you just need to bowl your best, do what you can do, and yeah.
How was it? I mean, the sectionals is pretty loud. There a couple of years ago, it's pretty loud. What kind of level are we talking? How different is it?
At least with like the individual, like, all-star teams, like, they got pretty loud. It was probably louder than sectionals was, but yeah.
You both are looking, Rachel, you're committed to Hilbert, and I know, Emma, you're looking to bowl at the next level. So, Rachel, start with you. Why Hilbert, and, what drew you to Hilbert? And you said you're bowling there, right?
Yes. Well, I know the coach. Emma and I both bowled with his daughter. It's Ken Korn, and his daughter, Katarina Korn, bowled, and she was class of 2019. So, a personal connection with him, and then also, I knew I wanted to go to Hilbert even before they got their bowling team back together. I really like the school atmosphere, and I really like how small it is. I like that one-on-one attention with teachers, really getting to know what I want to do.
And Emma, you're looking to bowl at the next level. I won't give you too many details, but I guess, are you looking at schools in the area, looking at schools out of the area? What I mean, you could break it down. What are you looking for the most in a school?
I guess I'm not really. One school is kind of far, and then others closer. But I guess I'm also kind of looking for that smaller school atmosphere, I guess, where I can have good learning with teachers' attention and good bowling, and yeah.
Do you know what you're going to study, or?
Biochemistry.
Okay, so you want to go to a science school, okay. Let's see, where was I going to go with my next question? This happens all the time. What's it like to, let me ask about Coach Kaplan, big personality. We had him on earlier. Obviously, he's your rival. You guys share the same alley. Is he as mean as he tries to portray himself as?
No. No, he's sweet. He comes over and he talks with our coaches, and he has a good relationship with our coach. We really like him. He's always been really sweet. During our matches against his school, of course, he's all rough and tough, but he's never as mean as he tries to come off as.
Yeah. He always jokes about oh, Maryville will throw him under the bus. They're our rivals, but he's never serious completely, So.
All right, I want you to let's say there's a couple girls live in the Maryville district. Maybe they're 5th or 6th grade. They bowled a couple times. They're like, oh, I'm pretty good at this. Maybe I want to bowl at the next level. Maybe I want to be the next Emma Jones and be the top bowler in Section 6. What do you suggest they start doing at that moment to get to that point where you are now?
Practice, get in leagues, bowl as much as you can, and I don't know, try and focus on improving in the sport.
What do you bowl? Where do you bowl outside of school?
I bowl in West New York Teen Invitational Saturdays, and I bowl in the Pepsi Travel League Sundays. So, yeah.
It sounds like a lot of the top bowlers bowl in that. So do you know a lot of when you go to matches and stuff? You kind of know most of your opponents you're facing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I meet a lot of other bowlers in these leagues. Yeah.
Do you try to get in their heads during matches or anything, or no, you don't do that? Yeah. Rachel, what would be? I guess we kind of talked about it. You kind of came in a little bit late to the sport than some other people. What would be your suggestion to younger bowlers?
Just practice and get in leagues. Getting in leagues is probably one of the biggest things, just because you're practicing more often, you become more consistent.
How many times a week on average do you guys bowl?
2 to 3, maybe 4. Yeah.
A minimum of 2 and maximum of 4 or 5.
Okay. Do you ever feel like you're, oh man, I've been bowling for too long, I need a day off, my shoulder's really killing me?
Every once in a while, yeah.
Is there anything to ice the shoulder? Do you have a in baseball we have there's a pitch count? Is there anything you try to keep track of in order just to make sure you're not wearing out your arm or your shoulder?
No.
You just do it by feel?
Yeah.
Rachel, anything like that?
You're basically the same thing.
What is the hard? And obviously we know the 7-10 split is very hard to get, but beyond that, when you're when you when you get ready to go up the second time, which pins do you hate to see left up besides the 7 and 10? What's really hard to get a spare on?
I guess just individual corner pins can be tricky sometimes. Yeah.
Is it because sometimes the paint you're afraid your ball's going to go off the edge?
Sometimes it'll slide out too far if there's a lot of oil. Sometimes it won't go all the way over if it's really dry. You gotta be careful about that.
Rachel?
Probably like baby splits, so like the 7-8 or like the 10-9 or like the 4-5, like the ones right next to each other where you have to get the ball perfectly in between.
Why is it so much tougher? Because they're closer. Why is it tougher?
Because like there's just enough room for your ball to fit in. It's very tricky to get both of them and not just one.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I gotcha. A question I asked to the other ones: how many bowling balls do you guys have, and how many do you carry in with you yourself?
I own 7 bowling balls, but I only carry 4 with me.
Okay. And you bring them in yourself. You don't have mom or dad carry them in for you.
They're in my car right now.
I also have 7, and I kind of take all 7 myself most times. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Final, I'll ask, what's going to be the key for you guys in states to bring home a state title to Maryvale?
Keeping all the girls like not in line, but just like keeping them like in the game, in the moment, not focusing on everything around them. I feel like it would be overwhelming for them, just keeping them in the moment.
Emma?
I guess it's just focusing on the game, not letting it get to our heads too much about places and stuff like that. Just bowl what you can bowl. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both for coming in. This Emma Jones, Rachel Marks of Maryvale, the Division II girls winners. They will be competing in states next weekend and hoping to bring home a crown to Section 6. Coming up next, we're going to have the girls individual bowlers who Emma would be on if her team hadn't won. Sorry, you couldn't make it on that team. But I think this is a pretty good consolation prize for you. But we will have them coming up next. You're watching High School Sports Saturday on WNY Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
Being home. If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. Ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Welcome back to High School Sports Saturday. We are back talking bowling, and we have some of the Section 6 Girls Individual All-Stars. Coach Dan Kaplan is back, and we have Kaylin Weber from Kenmore and Sarah Zuklik from Clarence. So, Dan, I'll start with you. Introduce me a little bit to both of these girls, then we'll talk about who else is on the team a little bit later.
These are two of our returning girls from last year, sophomore Sarah Zulik and senior Kaylin Weber. This is actually Kaylin's third time. She went as a little 8th grader and won a state championship when she was down there with our all-section team. So this is her last chance, and we're excited to have them both here along with the other 4 girls that will be joining us.
All right, we'll start with this. My favorite question. How many for each of you, 2 ladies here, how many bowling balls do you have, and how many of them do you bring in on your own?
Oh my God. I have to count. Hold on. So I bring in 6, and I leave 1 in the car. I cannot tell you how many I have at my house, though.
And you carry them all in yourself? You don't have mom or dad do it?
Oh, no, my dad always brings them in.
Okay.
Yes, I have my backpack. He takes the bowling balls.
Sarah?
So I bring 6 with me, and I carry them in myself. And then I keep all my stuff in the car, so I maybe have 3 in the car, maybe 4.
Dude, it never was like this. 6 bowling balls? What the heck is going on here?
It's just the different lane conditions that they deal with. It's a lot different back in the day where they'd probably have 2. Your regular ball and your spare ball. Now, just the way the lanes change, that they'll go through a couple bowling balls in a game. And then as things go on, when you're bowling 6 games, the lanes are going to keep changing. So, no, they're adjusting on the fly. That's why they're at this level.
Kaylin, you are going to states for the 3rd time. What kind of wisdom are you trying to impart on your younger teammates who haven't been to this before?
My biggest thing is trying to keep them calm, because I know my first year, I was a wreck the first game. I was so nervous. I didn't bowl good. I just want them to have fun and make sure they bowl good their first game, so it could keep the energy up for the rest of the games.
And Sarah, you've been to states as well. What do you remember? Right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you remember most about when you were there? The atmosphere and everything.
It was intense. Sectionals is just really loud all the time. States is quiet but loud at the same time. We're all just rooting for each other, I feel like, and it's a lot of energy.
What's it been like to practice with all-stars for the past couple weeks?
It's insane. We're the best bowlers in the section, and just being in that atmosphere, you want to do well, but you also need to remember that you're not, I don't know how to phrase it. You just want to do well.
You just don't want to take on too much pressure.
Yes.
I have to show up because all the top guys are here, all the top ladies are here. Kaylin, start with this. 3 times. First time was as an 8th grader. You said you struggled your first game, but how did you get yourself back on track?
Okay. So after my first game, I was very emotional because I was so young compared to all the other girls on the team. I think the coaches like Kaplan and Carol, they definitely helped get me ready for the next game. I did bounce back with a 279, so I was I felt good after that.
Sarah, how did you do last year?
did well, I feel. You know, I bowled lower than sectionals, but I feel like that was to be expected. It was a lot of emotions, but I stayed in there.
She was a freshman. We were a little worried, and it's a big thing, especially when that's the first time going there. Just like when she was in 8th grade, we were worried about her going in because we did have a very veteran group of girls going out there, and she came out and she was a little nervous and she struggled her first game. And yes, emotional is a good word. That we were concerned about the rest of the day, and she took care of that real quick game 2, and coincidentally that group went on to win state title. So that last year she was our freshman, she was our young one, she was nervous. She bowled well, but I think now with that behind her, like I said, these two are probably 2 of the leaders on the team. That's why they're here, but they're also 2 of the leaders on the lanes, and they've got the experience, and we're hoping that they can work with the other girls because we have 4 brand new girls going to states. So we'll see what happens.
Can you tell me about those 4 other girls? Who are they, and what makes them special bowlers?
We have senior Hayla Zalewski from Allegheny Limestone, junior Abby Derby from Jamestown, senior Brenna Forsha from Tonawanda, and I'm forgetting my 4th one.
Jillian Yarns.
Jillian Yarns, junior from Orchard Park. So she's a sophomore?
She's a sophomore.
Oh, okay. Well, that's news to me. Sorry, Jillian. So far, they've been doing real well in practice. Brenna I've seen because she's been in my division on Tonawanda the last 6 years, and I'm glad she made it because I've seen it, and I actually went up to her this year in the beginning and just said, listen, you belong on the state team. We knew she was one of the better ones, very quiet girl, and she's been bowling great in practice, been bowled great at sectionals. So we're hoping this group can come together for next week. We got a couple more practices left to get them ready for next week.
I noticed 2 Southern Tier girls. Is that usually what you get? Because from Southern Tier, or
the majority is usually up here, but we've had girls over the years. The year Kaylin won states, where our big bowler was Cameron Spring from Allegheny Limestone. So we don't discount the bowling that's down there. We just don't get to see a lot of them. So when they do make it, I don't want to say it's a surprise. It's just they're usually not as well known up here because this is where all the kids bowl in the leagues. Even when we have the high school tournaments, those teams from Allegheny Limestone don't make that hour-and-a-half, 2-hour trip up here for a high school tournament on a Saturday. So, no, it's the bowling down there is just the same. Fredonia is usually pretty solid, but it just means they got a little more travel when they're coming up to practice with us. It's a lot easier for these girls to make it to practices than driving hour-and-a-half, 2 hours to come.
Caitlin, I'm forgetting the paint format. What did you call it before? The format of how they put down the oil?
The oil pattern?
The oil pattern, yeah. I kept losing that word in the past hour or so. When the oil pattern came out, obviously you saw it, and then they put it in sectionals. So when you first saw it, what did you think of it?
Okay. So I'm not the best at reading oil patterns, but it looked not similar to a house shot, but it did seem a little bit tricky on like the outsides and stuff. So I knew I was going to have to play on the inside like with a stronger ball. And then that's what I practiced with before sectionals was the ball I was going to use.
Sarah, what did you think when you saw the oil pattern?
I didn't actually see it on paper. I just bowled on it.
Did you know that it was the one when you first bowled?
I knew it was. Yeah, I knew that it wasn't going to be the house shot. But like Kaylin, I knew that I had to play up the inside a little bit with a stronger ball.
What I mean. Would you have rather, is it different, you look at it when you see it first on paper versus just like, I'm just going to bowl out it and see what happens to first try?
Yeah, with the paper, you get to see it and you can like sort of plan your attack. When you're just bowling on it, you have no idea how the ball's going to react. So you just got to figure it out there.
How long did it take for you guys to really feel like you got down the oil pattern before sectionals? You're like, I'm comfortable with this. I know how it plays. I know how it changes throughout the day.
I think after the first sectionals practice is when I really got comfortable bowling on it, and then when I was practicing at sectionals, that's when I knew I was like ready to bowl.
How long before then were you practicing on it, or was that just like a couple times down? You're good.
So I bowled. There's set up sectionals practices that we bowl on. I did 2 of those, and there's a tournament, the Quaker tournament run by Orchard Park, that's also on the sectional shot. So that definitely got me ready to.
So you had a couple times before sectionals where you got used to this thing.
I did.
Sarah, similar deal or?
Yeah, like it took me a couple more of the sectionals practices. Like I knew what it was, and then after the Orchard Park tournament, I that was the day that I fully understood what was going on.
We try to put the pattern out on Sundays for the kids all in January into February, so any kid can come up. We have a thing with the lanes that they'll set it up for us. The kids and the coaches reserve lanes, so you got as many times you want to really get your team prepared for sectionals, or individuals can come up. So we try to give them as many opportunities as we can to see that oil pattern, so when sectionals come around, they're ready for it.
All right, this is a fun question. Any superstitions for either of you? Or pregame rituals?
I don't have any superstitions, but I do have like pregame rituals. Before every shot, like I wipe off my sole of my shoe. I had to do that every time, or I can't bowl.
Is there something on there, or is it just the ritual of it?
It's just like a mental thing. Like I have to do that every time.
Sarah?
Absolutely. Never bowl next to a split. Never bowl next to a 10-pin. And I won't wear any of the state's apparel until after states.
What do you mean? Like, so what happens if there's a split or something next to? What do you do?
If there's, I just wait. I don't bowl. If there's a split, I'm gonna throw a split. I'm not throwing a split. I just wait.
So you just wait for the person next to you to go. You just like, I know I'm up, but you can go first.
Yeah.
You have you don't get a strike. You have a couple pins left up. Besides the 7-10 split, is there like a couple of pins left up? They're like, oh, this is a tough shot for me to try to get the spare on. Like a weird Achilles heel.
I hate the baby split. I can never make that. Never.
Really?
No.
Can you explain it a little bit?
Oh, so it's the 3-10. So like the 3 pins on the left, the 3-6-10 without the 6 pin. I just can't make it. I don't know why. I'm like 1 for 100 this year.
Sarah.
10 pins. I'm awful at 10 pins.
Just 10 pins.
Just 10 pins. That's it.
Great.
Yeah, seriously.
Can't wait for next weekend.
You've seen me miss them all. Don't even.
We talked about this a little bit with the boys, Dan, but I want we got the girls in. What is it like to go from coaching your team at Cheektowaga to coaching a group of all-stars?
It's just fun. I mean, it's a fun group of girls, just like the guys. They're all very competitive in their own way, and I know most of them before they even get to states. So it just makes it easy because these kids are very open to, as much as they've been doing certain things during the year. We've got a good coaching staff with Jerry Carroll, who's our Cheektowaga boys coach. He helps with the All-Stars. Brian Geis from West Seneca, he's involved with the All-Stars. And these kids, as much as they're top bowlers on their own, they're very open and receptive to maybe making some changes, trying something different, trying a different ball, trying a different line. And for some, it's working. So they're willing to be coached, which is great, because you think some of these kids have done it so well all year with their own team that they're not going to be flexible, but it's just the opposite. These kids, they're little sponges. They want to learn, they want to get better, and the people that we put in front of them to help out, they're very knowledgeable coaches, and I think they'll both agree that they're there to help them. So they're good with that.
How do you toe the line between I want to correct this thing, but I also I know they're a star bowler and I don't want to mess them up a couple weeks before a big tournament? How do you toe that line?
Well, that's why we have a bunch of practices. So we're not gonna. None of them are gonna make major changes to their game, but there are some that have shown up, and you can see they haven't had a lot of top-notch coaching that these guys can add, and they'll tweak them, and if it helps them, that's great. Some of the kids might not want to do that because they know what works for them, but some are very receptive. So and they see that things happen when they're doing certain things that they weren't aware of. So no, these kids are pretty good about that.
These two especially, I'm assuming?
Yeah. These two are both very coachable. I mean, I've enjoyed this one for the last 5 years, knowing her and her family, and this one I've gotten to know very well the last year or two, and they're just two good kids, two good families, and they know we have a good opportunity in front of us, and that the people are there for them. They're certainly not there to hurt them.
Do either of you play other sports?
I used to play soccer. I stopped this year because of bowling.
I played house softball, but I'm kind of old.
How is it different? Do you think playing bowling, doing bowling, and you're often you're kind of going hand in hand practice and do games with the boys team versus other sports like soccer where the girls team and the boys team are completely separate entities? Like, do you think it's different? Do you think it's different or not really?
I don't think it's different for me because it's just as competitive either way. Like, I do want to beat like these guys or I want to beat these girls. It's kind of the same for me.
I mean, we may be bowling at the same place, but we're two separate teams with our own divisions and everything. So it's not really different. It's just you're just around more people.
How long have each of you bowled?
I think I've been bowling since like the age of 3 or 4. It's been in my family forever.
How do you pick up a bowling ball at that young?
I cannot tell you.
2 hands.
Yeah.
2 hands shove it down.
Roll it down the ramp.
Yeah.
That's just how they get started. Probably then they go to bumper bowling and take up a love for it, and you want to get better. And these two, like I said, they're little sponges. They just want to get better every day.
When did you both kind of have that moment where you go from, oh, I like bowling to, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this and I can compete at states?
For me, I definitely think my 7th grade year when I just got into high school bowling, because before that I only did like house leagues like in the mornings, and that was just like fun, but getting into something very competitive like high school is when I knew this is like my passion. I want to do this for a while.
No, probably 8th grade. Like, I had bowled at school like my 7th grade year, but 8th grade was when it really started to pick up for me because our graduating senior, she was a senior, she was leaving, so someone was going to have to step up, and I stepped up with a couple other girls, and that was when it really started to go.
Let me ask this question. Let's say there's another girl out here, that said, maybe they're 7, 8 years old. I want to be the next Kaylin Weber. I want to be the next Sarah Zuklik and represent Section 6 at states. What is your advice to them right now?
Practice. Get as much practice as you can, and talk to your parents. My dad is a very big part in our my brother and I's life. He does everything for us. He gets us in everything. That was a big thing for us, bowling in tournaments, getting the experience, getting all the league experience. That helps a lot.
Sarah?
Definitely have fun with it. You're gonna have to practice and you're gonna have to put in a lot of time and effort, but if you're not having fun with it, then you're just gonna burn out.
How many times a week on average do you guys bowl?
During the high school season, every day, because I bowl.
Even 7 days a week. Wow.
Yes. I bowl leagues on Saturday and Sunday, but now it's just a few days of practice during the week, and then I just bowl on the weekends.
Sarah?
Yeah, same.
Did your arm ever get worn out or anything?
I think I'm used to it.
No shoulder issues? Does that concern you, Dan? That they're going 7 days a week?
You know what? It's more of a natural motion in the underhand. That's why I use the example softball pitchers pretty much go all season the same pitcher. It's more of a natural motion on your arm and your shoulder as opposed to a baseball pitcher, which is why they can't go every day because this is a different motion. But no, these guys, I said they want to get better, and they know in bowling you got to practice. You're at different houses, different conditions, different bowling balls, and they're going to be facing that all through high school, all into college. So they like being at the high level, and they've worked very hard to get to the level they're at right now.
Now, Kaylin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think your brother Mike bowled at St. Joe's. Am I getting that right?
Yeah,
okay. So he graduated a couple years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So what's that sibling rivalry like? Is he better than you? Are you better than him?
I like to think I'm better, but no, he's crazy. He's definitely my biggest inspiration when it comes to bowling because he's accomplished all these amazing things, especially in college now. And I wish one day that I could do that.
Do you when you guys go head to head, is it super competitive?
It is, yeah.
A lot of trash talking?
Oh my god, 100%. All the time, even over text.
Sarah, do you have is your family big into bowling?
Parts of it are, yeah. Parts of it. Mostly my mom's side.
Okay, do you go often with them to bowl, and is there any family rivalries in there?
Not really. We're all at different levels now. Every once in a while I'll go bowling with my grandpa, but we're our own separate little entities, and then we just sometimes bowl together.
You, Caitlin, you're going on to bowl at the next level. Where did you go? Where did you say you're going?
I'm going to Madai.
Madai. Why did you choose Madai?
So I knew I wanted to stay local this past year, and after looking at colleges and talking to the coaches, I knew that Jeff Walsh is the coach. He's a very knowledgeable bowler, and I knew I could learn a lot by going there.
So you wanted to stay local. What are you going to study? Accounting. All right, it's a good one. Sarah, I know you're a little bit younger, but you said you might kind of be thinking about going to the next level. You're only a sophomore, so I know you're probably not thinking about it too much.
Mm-mm. I've got a lot of time.
All right, we'll end with this. If you could boil it down to one thing, I'll ask you, Caitlin, first as the veteran. What does this team need to do to bring home a state title to Section 6?
Keep the energy up, build a connection between each other. That's what we've been doing the past 2 weeks, is the connection between each other is very strong, I feel like. I think that's going to help us bowl and focus and keep each other up.
Sarah?
Yeah, we need to just stay positive and stay active and don't get out of that mindset of you're bowling, keep bowling well.
Coach, final thoughts on, have you thought about what you're going to say to your team before next weekend, before they hit the lanes?
Well, this one's probably heard enough of me. She could probably tell you some of the things. It's a long day. It's a full day, 6 games. We don't bowl 6 a lot. There's gonna be some peaks and valleys. We just hope the valleys aren't very long. And they know it. And I said it with the boys. You got 6 bowling. We drop our low score. Just keep picking each other up. And you're gonna have a down moment. Just don't let it affect the rest of your day. One shot should not affect your game. A couple shots shouldn't affect your day. And like I said, I love using her as an example. She came out first game and just struggled. And nerves, whatever. And she shut us up real quick when she came back the second game, and it just continued the rest of the day. You gotta have a very short memory with some of the things that are going to happen there, and realize there's a lot of bowling left. So hopefully this group realizes that, and hopefully they'll have some success next week.
All right, we want to thank you guys for coming in. Caitlin Weber, Sarah Zuplick, and of course Coach Dan Kaplan. Section 6 Girls All-Stars. Hopefully they can bring home a state title to Western New York. So thank you guys for coming in. When we come back, our final segment, we're going to talk to the Frontier boys. They are the Division I winners, and they'll be representing Section 6 in the boys' side on next weekend. You're watching High School Sports Saturday on WNY Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses, and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab right away. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. Ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf, that's all you had to say. Call today.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Welcome back. Final segment of High School Sports Saturday. Quick reminder, plenty of sectional basketball action going on today. We have the boys are at Buff State all day. I think the first game starts at noon, about an hour from now, and the girls will be there Sunday. We also have games at JCC, and then on WR Athletics we have the Bishop Time and Chabadon state semifinal boys basketball game. So plenty to watch today, plenty of high school action happening this weekend. We are now joined in our final segment by the Frontier Boys. They won the Division I title. We'll be representing Section 6 at States next week. And I'm joined by Coach Trey Zinski and Coach Mark Mankowski. How close was I in that? Did I get those right? Okay.
Pretty close. Close enough.
All right. So you guys, let me just start with this. You're a sectional champion, second in a row, so you're a little bit used to it, but still, it had to feel pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely. I think we really put the work in this year, especially for our seniors, of just practicing every day and just focusing on our spares and stuff, and I think we deserve the title.
Coach, I was talking to West Seneca East boys. They knew kind of those last few games. They were keeping an eye on the scoreboard, everything going on. Were you keeping your kids updated on the scores? Did you try to just have them block it out? What was?
No, we knew right where we were. I wanted the kids to know where they stood. At the same time, I think we had the lead for the first 5 games, or into the 5th game, and we gave the lead up in the 5th game. We didn't bowl our best. But I wanted them to know, they need to know that. There's no relaxing in that situation. The kids, and the biggest thing was I had told our Mark and Zach, our two of our seniors and 2 of our higher averages. I said the best kids have to be the best kids today if we're going to win. So, and they did. They all stepped up and they bowled really well. And I can't say enough. Niagara Falls bowled great. They were awesome as well. It was a really fun match.
All right. So tell me a little bit about Mark and the rest of the guys on the team. What makes them really special bowlers?
I think the biggest thing, and I think this is any team in any sport, they're all friends. I don't have, from our first guy to our 12th guy, they all get along. They all hang out together at practice beforehand. They all play, they sit down and play Uno, and they have their time as teammates, not just bowling. And I think that's huge because they support each other. The seniors have been on the team, most of them, for 5-6 years now. And they've worked really hard, not only at our practices, but outside of our, practices, which is the key to becoming really good. They've put the time in.
Mark, tell me a little bit about your game. How would you describe yourself as a bowler in, 2 sentences? 1 to 2 sentences.
I think that I'm pretty laid back. I try and keep myself calm most of the time. I try to prioritize that, not to get in my head too much, but still staying consistent.
Do you think that's pretty much a fair assessment?
Yes. Mark, he is consistent, and he works at that. He does make everybody nervous because he's very animated when he's pulling, so you know exactly where you stand when you're watching him. Not animated in a cocky way, but animated in a like, oh my god, nervous type energy sometimes. But if he didn't do that, I'd be worried. He's done that since the 3 years I've been coaching him, and I can't say enough about his leadership on our team and everything he's done for us.
You guys go back to states for the second year in a row. What did you guys learn from that experience that you're trying to take into this year?
Definitely to stay calm throughout all the games. I think we need to go into the first game. Just keeping each other up is definitely a big thing, just making sure everyone is in their head, but focused at the same time.
Coach?
I think last year, winning the section, the first year I coached, we won the division, and we were horrible at sectionals, let's be honest. We did not pull good at all. And they were all 10th graders. So I don't know I didn't expect them to win it, but it was a great experience. Last year we came back with that experience and we won sectionals. We went to states, we finished third, which is a nice place to finish in the whole state. This year we went undefeated. The kids had their goal was we're going back to states. It wasn't let's go undefeated, let's win. They wanted to win the division first. They wanted to win sectionals, and they made states. Hopefully, like I said, with 4 seniors on the team, their goal this year is to win states. And I think that experience last year is going to help them in that situation.
You finished, what, second or third last year,
I think we were third.
Third?
Yeah.
Let's go into you, Mark. I've been asking every bowler this. How many bowling balls do you have, and do you carry them in with you all the time?
I have 9 right now. I think most people have 6. I have a little more, but they each are designed to do their own thing. I think it's important to have as many options as you can because you never know what you're going to be bowling on whenever you go in a league or tournaments, anything like that.
How do you fit them all on the rack there, or do you keep most of them in the bag?
I keep most of them in the bag. I only bring up definitely my spare ball and 1 or 2 strike balls I bring up, so about 3.
So do you carry them in yourself, or do you make mom and dad bring them in?
My dad's with me the most of the time, so he carries 2 bags, I carry 1.
You have 3 bags. That's nuts, right? It wasn't like that back in the day.
I have 1 bowling ball.
Do you ever wonder, maybe, especially maybe if it's a newer bowler, you see a lot of balls, you're like, maybe we need to hold back a little bit?
As a coach, I think the kids like Mark who bowled in different leagues and know the patterns and everything else, like he said, it's nice to have those there in case you need them. I would definitely say, even Mark would probably say this, he probably has 2 that he prefers to use over the other ones. But it is nice to have those extras there. Now, if you're a beginner bowler and you're just learning the ropes, I think that would be way over your head. But once you get to the level that these guys are at, Mark bowled a 300 game this year. He had a couple real high scores along the way. We had 2 other boys that took a 300 into the 10th frame, so they know what they're doing. I'm not going to question the number of balls they bring as long as they bowl well.
Mark, the bowling patterns came out, I think, in January. What was your first reaction when you saw it?
Initially, it looked pretty easy. I think the ratio was 6.25, which compared to a house shot it looks pretty easy going in. I remember the first day that we went to sectionals practice, and it was easy at first, but it broke down really quickly. Even with the 6 of us there, I was surprised by how quickly it broke down and how quickly we had to move and adjust our game.
So, what was kind of some of the adjustments you had to make as far as did you have to go to certain balls quicker than you thought you would, or throw in different areas? How was that?
Yeah, I started out with something solid since the pattern looked heavier in the middle, and that's what I was kind of trying to play. And I was just really surprised by how quickly that oil just broke down, and I was just constantly moving left to change my line, and I think I went between 3 or 4 different bowling balls, just trying to move down to stuff that's weaker to hold the line.
Coach, you mentioned you have high expectations. So when you saw this oil pattern, what did you think? Did you think, oh, this is something that our guys could do well with, or is this is going to be a challenge?
No, I think they make good adjustments everywhere we've played. And like I said, I don't think it's the hardest pattern we saw. 2 years ago at sectionals, that was a really tough pattern, and nobody bowled well. And not just our team, but a lot of the teams that were below what they would usually do. This pattern was, I think, a fair pattern. It allowed your best bowlers to be your best bowlers. Sometimes if they trick it out too much, then it's, you get a kid who just has a great day and he may not even have been your top couple bowlers make it through the states. But I think this pattern will let the best bowlers be the best bowlers, and not only our team, but I think the state team, the individual team, is really strong as well. So I think we're going to represent Western New York well at states.
Mark, how long have you been bowling? When did you first pick up a bowling ball?
Right around when I was 4 or 5 at a bumpers league down at Strikers. And I think that's 12, 13 years ever since. I started taking it seriously around 7th grade when I joined the school team. And ever since then, I've been taking it seriously.
When was the moment you realized, oh, I'm on a good team. I could really, go to states, be one of the top bowlers in all of the area?
I would probably say last year. I'm the kind of person to always be in my head, and that's why I'm always trying to stay calm while I'm bowling. But last year I really noticed that my scores are comparing and on par with everyone or every other like good people that we know. But that's when I first realized, like, oh, this can turn into something if I just put in the work.
What do you do? What is your off season? I know a lot of these guys, both bowlers are in the Pepsi leagues and all that. So what do you do as far as off season bowling?
So normally Wednesday nights I go out to Broadway to practice. They lay out sport pattern or something, and I just bowl for a few hours just to keep loose. Saturday I do a juniors league at Broadway also from around 10 o'clock, and then I stay there for an hour or two, and then I compete in the Western New York Teen Invitational at 1 o'clock, and that's normally for Saturday unless if there's like a tournament or something. And then Sundays I also do the Pepsi League.
So you know a lot of the other bowlers you face in Section 6. So, what's that like to, compete, especially when you get to sectionals and you're facing some of the top teams who might not be in your league, to face these guys on teams that you kind of know who they are? What was that kind of like?
We've always sort of been friends, so looking to compete against them is just looking at them in a different light as a competitor instead of as a friend, but also still being nice and a good sport.
Coach, I'll ask this question. You're the coach of Frontier. Let's say there's a 7th grader, or not, no, it's not 7th grader, a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and they say, I like this bowling thing, I'm doing pretty good, I want to be the next Mark Mankowski. What is your advice to them right now?
Well, being an elementary PE teacher.
So you're recruiting already?
I'm recruiting all the time. The girls' coach is my teaching partner. So our elementary school, we encourage the kids. Saturday mornings at Briarwood, they have a league, and I think that's the best place to start. Like Mark started at Strikers, but right at Cloverbank, it's not Briarwood anymore. Cloverbank is our home. They have a Saturday morning leagues where the kids can join. So there's kids in there that are in kindergarten right now, learning the bowl. So that's a nice feeder program for us. And Pete at Cloverbank has been awesome. He supports our team. He lets us bowl whenever we want. He takes care of the kids and parents, and it's a really nice relationship. So I try to send as many kids over there that show interest and get their foot in the door and get them started.
Mark, how many times a week on average do you bowl? Like, give me a number.
Around now, with school wrapping up, I'd say about 4 or 5 times a week I'm bowling. And around the summer, I'd say maybe 2. It definitely goes down. But this is definitely the busiest bowling-wise I've been in a while.
Do you ever worry about, because the girls were saying they bowl like 7 days a week. Like, do you ever worry about your arm wearing out? I know there isn't really a pitch count, as you'd say, like maybe in baseball, but how do you keep track of your shoulder and your body to make sure you're not overdoing it?
I think most of it is based on feel, just being aware of, ow, this hurts, and knowing when to take a break and when to take ibuprofen and stuff just to get through what you're doing.
Coach, and you're a PE teacher, so maybe most other coaches, you kind of know the human body and all those. I mean, what's your kind of advice to your guys about how much to bowl and when to rest?
I don't really advise them on that. If they're bowling and they're enjoying it and having fun, I say do it as much as you want. If you're going through the motions and you don't want to be there and heart's not in it, then you're probably doing it too much. You know, I'm a golfer and I coach the golf team as well, and I myself know playing 2 or 3 times a week I'll play better than playing 6 times a week because you're just more focused. And so I always say if he's playing every day and he's focused and loving it and he's not having any kind of physical issues, have at it. But like I said, if you're going through the motions and you're just kind of getting dragged there by your parents and you don't want to be there, then probably doesn't make much sense to do it 7 days a week.
So it's more of a mental really than a physical.
I would think so. Physically, if you're hurt, you're going to give yourself a break, I would think. You know, either way.
Let's see. What do you guys need to do? You're going to states. You're playing as a team. What do you know? What day you guys are going to be bowling?
We are going to go down Thursday night, and we bowl Friday, and we start at noon in the afternoon on Friday.
So, Coach, if you give me a little preview, peek behind the curtain, what is going to be your speech right before the guys take the lanes for that?
Same thing I tell them every single time. Relax, have fun, and bowl. It's no different. There's 10 pins at the end of the lane. The pattern's the same we've been working on. At that point, at the level they're at, they just have to be able to mentally relax and bowl. It's no different, right? It's the same dimensions. The lanes are the same. The ball's the same. You just got to have that mentality of, go out, do the best you can do, and, try to relax.
Mark, what have you been trying to tell maybe some of your younger teammates who weren't there last year?
Definitely that consistency is key, just to keep practicing if you want to get better. I think the number one thing is just to get into leagues, especially the ones around here.
Well, I'm sorry. I meant about states, going to states. What have you, about that atmosphere?
Just to stay calm and have fun, like what Coach was saying. I think the most important thing is just keeping everyone in a mental space where we can all keep each other up, even if we miss a spare or two, just to keep each other up. I think that's the biggest, and that's what I've been telling them, just to stay calm. You're going to miss a spare every once in a while, but it's okay, and just keep pushing forward to do well.
All right, Coach, and thank you guys for coming in. Coach Craig Zinski, Mark Bankowski for Frontier, thank you guys for coming in, and we wish you good luck at States.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
All right, that will do it for us on this episode of Western New York High School Sports Saturday. Tune in this weekend. We have plenty of action on the NFHS Network and right here on Western New York Athletics. It is sectional playoff time, and of course, you'll see these guys will be at States. I don't know if that'll be streamed anywhere, but we'll certainly keep track of that. And maybe if you guys win, we can invite a couple more of your teammates in and recognize all of them.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Thank everyone for watching. This was High School Sports Saturday on WNY Athletics.
WNYathletics.com would like to thank...
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.